Hi, I'm Dr. Roadhouse, and I want to introduce Kyle to you. He's one of our patients. He was a regular chiropractic patient, had a pretty significant low back injury and low back problems. So, Kyle, why don't you just talk about, um, first of all, what your symptoms were like, where the pain was, where the problem was, how it happened, if you know, because some patients do, some
Sure.
patients don't. And then you can kind of talk about, things that aggravated it, and then about your treatment, and then how you're doing today.
Sure. Well, first off, thank you for having me today,
Sure.
and thank you for your patience and for your treatment over the last many months.
Quite welcome.
The treatment began in July, shortly after the problems began, and it was really quite extensive. If I were to give it a pain scale number, 1 to 10, I'd give it an 11.
Okay, that's what I recall too.
Yeah. It was lower back specifically, but occasionally the problem circulated to upper back and sometimes my sides. And it was so severe that I simply couldn't even roll over in bed. I was pulling myself out of bed with my nightstand and things like that. I had to sit in the shower and was largely infantile again, almost. Literally crawling around the room to get myself dressed and things like that. And I was thankfully referred to you through a friend, and it's the best medical decision I've made in a very long time. Even from the very first treatment, I was stunned at the genuine, instantaneous effect it had on me. I went from being hunched over at probably a 60-degree angle to, probably 85 or 90 degrees instantly. And it took many months before that was continuous, but I'm glad that I stuck with it, and you and your staff were all incredibly accommodating with my situation, and that was wonderful. And like I say, I've never made a better medical decision.
Yeah, you had. I mean, you remember. I mean, I remember the first several times you came in. You were incapacitated and
Right.
in a lot of pain. And do you remember just trying to get on the table, the treatment table, and then getting off? And so from there, you started getting better. But after that, it wasn't real strong. I mean,
Right.
you were feeling better, but then if you moved the wrong way or something, it kind of seized up on you. Not as bad as what it was,
Right.
but we had to go through some, treatment plan to get you feeling good, and you just kept getting better and better. Then you kind of plateau for a little bit, and then you get better. And then we had to, when you're doing a lot better, the pain never returned as bad as what it was, but
Right.
it was still there to let you know. Our key on how good you were doing is, even if you were doing great, right? When you tried to get on the table, it was still just a little bit of a reminder on there. So then we went into the strengthening phase, and we put you on the ATM2 with the rehab and all that. And then we gave you, as that did better, we gave you exercises at home to do. So, as far as that goes, do you remember what it was like when it was real bad, when you coughed?
Yeah, that was atrocious. It was almost more painful than the original pain.
Yeah, and that's why you were trying to avoid the cough, and that's a
Right.
sign that you have a pinched nerve. But the good thing for you is, how far into the leg did it go?
The shooting pains in the leg were probably, almost down to my heels, really. And it was both legs nearly constantly at the beginning.
Yeah, and the further down the leg it goes, and that means the inflammation's gone all the way down. So if you had come in when it was just in the hip, it wouldn't have taken as long as if it went to the knee or went to the foot like that. Okay. Yeah, so otherwise, you've done good. So we haven't seen you in months. And, just tell us how you're doing now.
Stupendous. Like you just said, I haven't been in months, and that's simply because I haven't needed to come in. It's been really nice to kind of been back to my former self.
No limitations.
No limitations of any kind.
You can get up and do everything.
Get up, move around, drive my car with complete comfort. I sleep well at night. It's wonderful.
What about when you go visit your dad and sit in that chair?
Man, that's. Just a few weeks ago I was over at his house and I didn't even think about it actually. So.
Because why don't you tell everybody kind of what happened?
Sure. So my father at his house, he has this chair that is incredibly comfortable, but became incredibly uncomfortable through my back pain. And each time that I would go to his house and sit in this chair, the back spasms would begin again, and I'd almost be back at stage 1.
Right. And you were doing better,
Right.
and then you sat in the chair,
That's
and then
yeah.
it just put you in a certain position where there was still some pressure on the
Right.
nerve and did that. But that's good because we hadn't talked or anything like that.
Right.
Well, listen, I appreciate you,
Yeah.
allow us to be part of your
Thank you.
healthcare.
Absolutely.
And he's here today just to do this video.
Right.
He doesn't need a treatment or anything. He's in here in case there's someone else out there that has a problem like him, and they've tried all these different things and nothing worked, and
Yep.
he got such good results. He wanted to come in here and do a video for us. And there's other people that are going to see this and maybe make the decision to come in. If they do
Hopefully.
it, if they're a candidate, then it'll change their life. So I appreciate you,
Yeah.
coming in and doing this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.